All right, artists, your other option for this week is to draw something else that grows during the spring. It's not just flowers that grow, but also a lot of different vegetables. And I wanted to show you one of my favorite types of early spring vegetables that I just pulled out of my garden. It's called radishes, and if you've ever had a radish before, they're a little bit spicy, and sometimes they have this beautiful pink or red color, or sometimes they're a little bit white, but they have green tops that come out above the dirt, and then these red, pink, and white parts are actually below the dirt. So when you pull them out, they're a little bit dirty, and you have to wash them off before you can eat them. I also grow carrots. I didn't grow this carrot, but I did plant some carrots, and they'll be growing. They'll be ready by the summertime. And the carrot, you all know what carrots look like, but it's long and orange, and then it's got the green tops, just like the radishes had. These are onions and garlic and sort of different types of onion. And these all grow under the ground too, and they each have different types of tops. So we're going to be growing all of these, or we're going to be drawing all of these. We're going to be drawing the parts that are underneath the ground and the parts that are on top of the ground. Now, just like the flower video, you can use whatever materials you have. If you only have a pencil and a paper, that is totally fine. Just work on doing these line drawings, and then you'll just leave it like that. You can save it and bring it back to the art room next year, and we can add some color to it then. Or you can just keep it black and white, because those are some of my favorite drawings too. If you have crayons, you can use crayons, colored pencils, markers. Some of my favorite things to do with these drawings are use crayons for the outline of the vegetables, and then use watercolor paint to paint inside the vegetables. That way the paint stays away from the crayons. Remember that the watercolor paint is scared of crayons. But the paint colors the inside of the vegetables. I'm just going to be using markers because it's what I have at home, and sometimes I like how bright the markers look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be drawing the top of our ground. This is where the sky meets the ground. All of our vegetables are going to be underneath the ground, and all of the greens are going to be on top, except you can see over here that there's one type of vegetable I'm going to draw that is going to be growing above the ground. So I'm going to draw the radish first, and if you're looking at the radish root, I noticed that it's sort of an oval shape. So you can make it longer with a little bit of a tail that reaches deep down into the earth to get a little bit of a drink of water. I like that. You can eat it too. Some people take it off, but you can eat it. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of a curvy line. I'm going to make that pink, and I'm going to make that white. And then on the top, these leaves, kind of look like this to me. So it's like curvy, squiggly lines. I'm overlapping some of these lines. I really like how these look when they're all wibbledy, wobbledy. They don't really have to look like anything in particular, sort of like waves or slime or water. But we're going to be coloring them green so that we know that they're the tops of radishes. All right, cool. I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to get our carrot. We know what a carrot looks like, but I'm actually going to make our carrot look a little bit cooler than this because this looks just orange, and I'm going to make ours orange and like lighter orange or yellow. I always like to add two colors to something whenever I can. So I'm going to draw a long carrot, sort of the same shape as the radish, but a little bit skinnier, a little bit longer, and it's got a point at the end. Carrots sometimes have these lines that come from both sides. You see how I'm doing straight lines? They don't go all the way across. It's okay if you accidentally do. It looks like I'm doing 2 on each side. Maybe I'll do 3 on each side. It doesn't matter. But the tops of the carrots, very, very different from the radishes. It almost looks like tall grass. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're 5, you can do 5. If you're 6, you can do 6. If you're 7, you can do 7. And I'm going to go, look at that. Look at those feathery marks that I put, like the backs of an arrow. Look at all those feathery marks on every single part of the top of the carrot stems. I like how that looks. Now, I don't have any examples of potatoes over here because I cooked them all and ate them last night, but potatoes grow under the ground too, and they grow in clumps and clusters. So I do 3 potatoes over here, and these are probably the easiest shape because you guys have been drawing circles since you started school. So I'm going to draw 1 circle. If you accidentally make it an oval, that's actually a good thing because potatoes are not all circles. Sometimes they're ovals. Matter of fact, if you wanted to draw some big ones and some small ones, you can. And then on the potatoes, there's these lots of little dots. It's almost like you're drawing like a face. You can do 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, and then connect them all right? They're all connected. And when you dig up potatoes, you pull out this whole bunch all at once. And the tops of the potatoes, let's go like this. Let's do this type of leaf. What shape is that? Looks kind of like a diamond to me. All right, last vegetable. We're gonna be doing our onion. And an onion is sort of like a circle with a little bit of a point at the bottom. And what makes an onion look like an onion is a little bit of this. It's like the part that drinks the water on the radish, except not quite as long, and then lots of curvy lines. The tops of the onions are just straight. They don't really even have leaves. In fact, you can sometimes, they smell like onion, these tall, straight green leaves for the onions. So now I'm going to start coloring them in. And remember, if possible, if you have enough colors to add 2 colors to each vegetable, that's a really good thing. Okay, so I'm going to draw some pink for the radish, and I'm going to leave this white. When I do the top of the radish, I'm going to do 2 colors of green. Light green first. I'm going to fill in the whole thing light green. You better slow it down and not scribble quite as fast as I'm doing. You've got lots of time to make this look good. Light green, and then I'm going to put dark green on top of it, but I'm not going to cover up all of the light green that I just did. Okay? I'm going to do about half. I like to go right next to my black outline. I think that looks really nice. Okay. Add some green to the tops of the carrots. The tops of the potatoes. Same way that I did the radish leaves. You're going to find, when I teach you how to draw trees, flowers, grass, lots of things that are outside, that I do everything green the same way. Light green, then dark green. Look at this carrot. I'm going to do light orange. And then I'm going to go back on top right beside my dark lines, and I'm going to do dark orange. And that makes it look like a delicious, yummy carrot. I like to dip that in ranch dressing. I don't really have this exact color for the onions. Onions are sometimes yellowish, brownish. So what I want you to do is do your best that you can do for this onion. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. Uh-oh, I think I got a little bit dark on that. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go for it, because I bet that there is a type of onion that looks exactly like this. Same with the potato. I don't really have a good brown, so I'm just going to do the best that I can do. You know what? I bet if you wanted to make those potatoes purple or blue or red, it would look really cool. Do you want me to try? Here, I'm going to do some blue potatoes. Don't tell anyone. They're going to look like blueberries. See, it's not a big deal. We can kind of tell, even though I changed the crazy colors, we can kind of tell that they're still vegetables. If you have a blue, go ahead and add a little bit of that blue sky above your middle line. You don't have to go all the way to the top. Sometimes artists just draw a little bit of something, not the whole thing. Okay, that way we know that this is the sky, and I'm gonna draw the same amount on the ground. Look at this. I don't draw it evenly on the bottom. I make sure it comes all the way to that middle line, but I kind of go. All right, so one of the things that I want you to remember is that you don't have to color the entire picture. You can do what we call spot coloring, which is just where we add a little bit of color to certain areas so that the viewer, so that the people looking at our pictures, so that the audience knows what we're trying to draw, but we don't have to spell it out exactly for them. So far all of our vegetables are underneath the ground and all of the greens are above the ground, but there are some vegetables and fruits, in fact a lot of them, where the vegetable grows above the ground. We just did the ones that grow under the ground. But if we wanted to, we could do some sort of corn, which actually grows on these tall corn stalks all the way up. They're very, very sturdy because they have to support lots of ears of corn. And they're called ears of corn. I actually don't really know why they're called ears of corn. But when they're closed, they sort of look like this, and they're green, and they have this little tuft of hair on the top. They're sort of ovals or like eye shapes, almond shapes. And if they're open, sometimes they'll come open at the top, and it's just like a rainbow shape. A rainbow and another rainbow, back to back, with an oval here. And you can even do little tiny U's for ears of corn. Do one more here. Okay. If you wanted to do more, you can, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of color up here, and then we'll be done with our drawing. The corn is a lot of different colors of yellow, so you can use whatever color you want. And then we're pretty much done. You can add whatever you want up top. You can add any sort of little creatures down here, things that like to be in the garden, ants, snails, bugs, butterflies, spiders, anything that you want to add down along the ground or up in the sky. This is your drawing, and I'm super excited to see what you come up with. Thanks so much for drawing along with me. Bye.